You're welcome to my channel, Mindset Academy, where we want to reproduce the figure that is displayed at the right hand side of the screen using the principle of tangency. If you look at the figure closely, we have six centers, right? That it's a center of a circle, and these are the centers: one, two, three, four, five, six, right? And we're first going to draw all those circles, all the centers there. We'll locate each of the centers. Then we'll continue doing all the things we ought to do, right? So let's start. Now, we're starting from this point here. So let me say the point here is this point on my what? My drawing sheet where my arrow is pointing. And on that point, I'm going to draw an horizontal line this way. Can you see that? And I'll draw a vertical line also on that point this way. So this is where they are meeting. Now the next thing I'm going to do is I am going to measure 12 millimeter upward, because on this line 12 millimeter above this point is where these two circles are resting on, right? So I'm going to measure 12 millimeter upward. So let's do that and see. So from this point, from 0 is 10, 11, 12, right? And I'm going to draw a line along those points this way. You can see that. Now the next thing is, if you look at these two inclined line, this line and this line, they are 30-degree away from the center line, this line you're seeing. So we have a line from this point 30-degree to this direction, and also from this point 30-degree towards this direction. Are you with me now? So I'll take my 30-degree and 60-degree set square, since I'm taking the center as my reference point, right? So I'm going to place it this way on my T-square, and I'm going to draw 30-degree in this manner. And I'll also take it this direction. I will draw 30-degree in this manner. Hope you can see that, right? Now we've done that. Now the next thing is for we to locate the center of the circle. Is that okay? So from this point here, I'm going to measure 25 millimeter upward, right, with the help of my compass. So I'll just take it this way. I'll place it on my meter rule. I'm going to measure 25 millimeter. And the question you'll be asking, sir, how did you get about the 25 millimeter? Now the reason I am using 25 millimeter this way is because of the radius of the circle. The diameter of the circle is 50, meaning that the radius will be what, 25. So I'm going to place it at this point here, and I'm going to mark 25 this way. Hope you can see that. So at this point, that is where I will mark what, 25, this given point here, right? And on that point, I'm going to draw a center line. So this is a long one, short, long, short, long, and so on. On this point here. So from this point and this point, which is this point and this point, my arrow is pointing, I will take the radius of that 25, right? We know this is 25. Am I correct? And I'll place it at the center point here. Then I'm going to draw a circle this way. I will thicken it. You can see that. Now come here also, I'll do the same thing too. I'll stop here. So that's the first two. Then the next one is that it has a, a hole inside, right? It has what a hole inside, and the hole has diameter of what 22. Meaning I'll be using 11 as my radius to construct. So I'll measure 11 from 0. This is 10. This is 11 here. Can you see that? And I'll place it at the center here, and I'm going to draw. Now come here also, I'll do the same thing. I'm going to draw. Hope you can see that. So the next thing we're going to do is to locate these three circles. 1, 2, 3, right? So we need their center. We already know that they fall. The first one fall along this line, second one fall along this line, and third one fall along this line. Now we need their center, right? So if you look at this point, this arc here, the radius of that arc is 90 what? 96, right? It is 96, and it is located from this point here with my arrow is pointing. So I'll measure 96 on my meter rule this way from 0 to 96 in this manner. Can you see that? And I'm going to place it at this point. Then rule a line to cut here. Can you see that? I'll rule a line to cut here. So where that line cuts, this line here, I'm going to draw a center line along that line. So in this manner, to have a long, short, long, short, just like way. Where the line intersects each of these lines here, those points will be the center of the circles. And we're told that three bosses diameter 25, and these are the three bosses, these three circles. Is that taken? So I'll take half of 25, which is 12.5, and I am going to measure. So if I take from 0, and this is 10, 11, 12.5, I'll place it at the center point here, and I'm going to draw a circle. I'll come here too, I'll draw another circle. You can see that? I use this to get this, and I'll come here too, I'll get another circle. Hope you can see that. So we've gotten the three circles there. So we've gotten 5 of the centers. Now I remain one more to go. Now to get that one, that center is located at an angle 15 degree away from the center line, as you can see. So I need to measure 15. If I'm here to here is 30, and if I bisect it, I'll be having what? 15. So how will I bisect it? You can just take your compass, place it here, and strike an arc, cut here, then you cut here. So with the same radius, you can place it here, strike an arc, you place it here, strike another arc. So where they meet, that center they meet, that point of intersection will be the line that I will use as my reference point from this point here. And I'm going to draw a line this way, right? So that line should be more of a center line, long, short. That's this way. All good. So then to get the center of that circle, if you look at this arc here, we get that to the center, this arc, that's the radius of 100 and what? 28. Radius of what? 128. Is that taken? Radius of 128, or would I say 126? So I'm going to measure 126 from this point to get the other point here. All together, so 126. So let's do that and see. So I'm going to measure 126 on my meter rule, starting from 0 here. Then this is 12, making 120, 125, 126. Can you see that? And I'll place it here, and I'm going to strike an arc on this point. Right, so this is the arc here. So where it meets here, we locate the center of that circle. And the circle, you can check here, it says the boss has a diameter of what, 32. So I'm going to be using 16 to locate my circle. So from 0 to what, this is 15 and this is 16. And I'll place it at this point. Alright, place it at this point, and I'm going to draw a circle. You can see that. So, and we're also told that the drill inside the circle inside has a diameter of 16, meaning that the radius is what? The radius is 8. So I'll measure 8, 0, this is 8 here, right? And I'll place it at the center point here. And I'm going to draw a circle. You can see that. And also, I've not done the drill of all this, and they have the diameter of 12, the drill of 12, so meaning the radius is what? Is 6, right? So I can easily measure 6 on my meter rule, 0 to 6. And I'll place it at the center point here. Do the first one, do the second one, then the third one. You can see that. So now we've gotten the 6 centers that I said earlier. Now it's all to start drawing the arc that is connecting each of the circle. Now there's something I wanted to understand, very fast and efficient way. First of all, get this one. Right? When you get this, you'll get virtually almost everything. So let's see what will happen here. The radius of this arc connecting these 2 points here, which is where my arrow is pointing, is 32. Right? So I'm going to say the radius of what? Of 32 plus, now if I'm considering this circle here, right, then what is the radius of that circle? It's given to be 12.5, since the diameter is what, 25 from here. 3 bosses, meaning these 3 circles. So this is one of the 3 circles. So the diameter is what, 25, the radius is 12.5. So if I add 32 plus 12.5, right, that's going to give me 44 point what, 0.5. Is that okay now? So I'm going to measure 44.5 on my meter rule from 0. This is 44 here, 10.5 around here. All together, and I'll place it on the center of the circle I'm considering, which is this circle here. Right? And I'll strike an arc. Because when it is going in, we say it is what? External. So you are going to add the radiuses. Similarly, if I consider this circle, the radius there is given to be 25. So I'm going to say the radius of 25 plus the radius of this arc here, which is what? Which is 32. And that's going to give us what? 57. So I'm going to place my compass on my meter rule, and I'll measure 57 from 0. This is 55, 56, 57 here, right? So when I place it here, I'll strike an arc. So where these two arc meets, the intersect will be the center that's going to give me that arc I'm looking for. So when I place it at this point center here, right, I'm going to come here and I'll see if I can get that arc. Can you see that? So this is what? This is the arc. can see that. So we've gotten that. Now if you notice it, um, that is 32 here that we have. Is that taken? Now the next one is the one that is joining this one too is also 32, and they have the same. This circle here and this one is the same thing, just like this and this is the same thing. What I'll do is I'll just place my compass here and come to the center point. Can you see? To that point I used to get the arc. Then I'll come here. I'll strike an arc this way. I'll also come here too. I'll do the same thing to this point. Right? I'll come to this point. I'll strike another arc here. So where they meet will give me the arc I am looking for. All together. Hope you can see that. Now we've gotten those two. Now the same thing too. These two circles too is like this two also. So I'm going to do the same thing. From the center here, I'll get this, right? And I'll place it here. All together, I'll strike an arc. I'll come here also. I'll place it here also. I'll also strike another arc. I'm here to cut this. Now what do you notice? They are meeting at this point. Then I place it at that point, and I'm going to connect these two also. Hope you can see that. Then I would have used this one, but the radius there to this arc here is given to be 35. So I'm going to do something else. So in this arc here, it's going to be what? 35. So we'll start. The radius of this circle here is given to be 25. Alright. Then I'll add it to this radius, which is 35. So 35 plus 25 is going to give us 60. Right? So I'm going to measure 60 on my meter rule from 0 to 6. Right? And I'll place it at the center point here. I'll strike an arc. Can you see that? Then the radius of this is given to be 12.5. So 35 plus 12.5, and that will give us what? 47.5. So I'm going to measure 47.5 on my meter rule from 0. This is 45, 6, 7.5 here. Right? And I'll place it at the center. Since the circle I'm considering, I'll strike another arc. So where they meet at this point, that is where I'll draw an arc that is going to connect these 2 points here. You can see that. So from there, the next thing is there's an arc here also. The arc has a radius of what? Radius of 22. So if I'm considering this circle here, right, we know the radius is 16 because of diameter is 32. So I'll say that 16 plus the radius there, 22, and that'll give us 38. So I'm going to measure 38 on my meter rule this way. From 0, this is 30, 38 here, right? And I'll place it at the center of the circle I'm considering, which is the circle. Then I'll strike an arc. Yeah, adding because they are all external there. Then the next one is I'm considering this other one here. We know it is 12.5. So 22 plus 12.5, and that'll give me what? 34.5, right? So I'll place it, measure 34.5 on my meter rule this way. From 0, 34.5 here, right? And I'll place it at the center of the circle that I'm considering, which is this. Then I'll strike an arc. So where the arc intersects, I'll place it at that point. Take my compass to the circumference of the circles. Then I'll see and get that other aspect here. Alright? I'll try and see. I'll get the other aspect here. Hope you can see that. Now we've gotten everything here, but it's still remaining the circle connecting these 2 points here. And we know the arc is this circle, the radius is 12.5, right? And the arc connecting these two circles here is given to be 25, right? So I'm going to add 12.5 plus 25, and that's going to give me 37.5 again. How good? 12.5 plus 25, that'll give me 37.5 too. So I'm going to place my compass here, and I'll measure 0, then I'll measure 37.5. If I place at this point, I'll strike an arc. I'll place at this point also, I'll strike another arc. So where they meet, they're meeting at this point here. Place my compass at that point. Then I'm going to connect the two of them, this to this. Out there, this point to this point. All together. So let's just move that to see. Hope you can see that. Now the next thing is there's another one here that is connecting these 2 points here. So look at what I will do. I'll first of all take my compass from the center point here straight down to the circumference of this, right? And I'll draw a faint line this way, right? So since it is going in, and the rest of that arc connecting this point and this arc here is 32, right? So what I'm going to do is I know very well that I measured to get the center of this circle here. We use, let's confirm that, from this point 0, that is 90, let's say 95, right? This is 1995, so 95 plus the radius of this circle, so 95 plus 12.5, 95 plus 12.5, and that will give us 107.5, right? That'll give 107.5. Then I will add it to the radius of 32. So we're having 139.5. So that is the 139.5 I'm going to measure, right? 139.5 on my meter rule. 0 to 139, somewhere around here. Bring it down from 0 to 139.5, somewhere around here. And I'll place it at this point here. I'll strike an arc. Hope you can see that. Now the next thing is the radius of this circle here is given to be 16. Then 16 plus 32. So we say 32 plus 16, and that will give us 48, right? So I'm going to measure 48 also from 0 to 40. This 48 here, right? And I'll place it at the center point here because that's the circle I'm considering. I'll strike an arc. So where they meet, they're meeting at this point. I'm going to use the circle, this point, to connect these two lines here. From the circle here to connect these two lines here. So place it there. This is coming back here. That's what we have there, right? So just do your center lines. You know, the lines here are all center lines. So this is what we have here. So if you have and this also here, diameter what? 22. So if you have found this video helpful, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and also share the video. Thanks for watching.